Check 1, 2. DELoL on air.
Right, you're on mute.
DELoL on air.
It's time to really get our party on now.
You are not the father.
Hey guys, we're back with the next episode of the DELoL show. Hey everybody.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
So I guess we're having a little bit of technical difficulties today. That's going to be a little weird. So ever since Black Mariah, we found out she was going to come on the show today. Things have been going wrong.
She's poisoned us with
She
her
is.
blackness.
This has happened last time she was here too. I don't know if we should be embarrassed or angry at her. It should be one of the two. But
Why not both?
yeah, why not? I guess that's true. Why not?
Embarrassed
both?
and angry.
So, of course, in the show today, we got the Dallas Brew Scene guys who work along with our
Sans
Bottoms
Brew.
Up Dallas. So, Sans Brew, of course.
Howdy.
So, that's going to be a little weird. And, of course, like I said, we have Black Mariah, and then we're also going to be reviewing Trauma Comics Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space 2.
Deuce.
That's right. So, why don't we run the theme song?
Yes.
Oh,
Why
that's
don't
right.
We?
We can't run the theme song today. Right?
Look at Jedi. He's like, fuck you now.
For the people at home, Jedi is so beaten down right now because he's so overwhelmed.
You're doing a
with
good job,
whatever's going on.
Jedi. Thank you.
Jedi always does a great job.
Meow, 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 meow.
No, let's finish the theme song. Do it.
Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Okay, that
all I
works.
have.
All right, well, we're back. So,
Check that off the list.
Best theme song
Right.
ever.
so, gentlemen, give us your names here for the people at home that are still sober.
Matt.
Matt and
Still sober. I'm Jordan.
Still so. Jesus, it's 2. I guess it is brunch day.
Exactly.
Mimosas and
This guy speaks my language. It's like you know me.
today we went out and we had a little bit of brunch beforehand, and she was like, she looked at her ticket and was like, spent more on alcohol than I did on food today.
That's just a good brunch.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with
her
it.
third mimosa had tequila
I was like,
instead of champagne.
A
doesn't taste like
yeah.
A little tequila sunrise for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, she looked over at Carol. She's like, Carol, does your mimosa have tequila in it? She's like, no. She's like,
passing
"What?"
it around. I was like, I swear it tastes like tequila.
Once you amp up the party, you know, like
Yeah.
you're already right there.
Oh, I'm
Champagne.
amped.
That escalated very quickly.
And then superhero. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then she started knocking. Then she started stealing stuff and knocking over water.
Well, that is.
I didn't mean
Yeah.
to knock
And that-
over the
and
water.
anger.
I was
no, in
trying
anger.
to steal the bowl.
I'll be honest. I
My
have
purse
not
is
seen
big.
you that angry in a long time. She was
Well,
pacing
yeah.
up and okay, that was just now.
Isn't that what tequila does, though? It like
Yeah.
turns you into Frank the Tank from.
Tequila is actually pretty good for me. I can drink tequila and like dance on the bar tops and be okay. and
Really?
have
You're
a
a
good
happy
time.
tequila.
Oh, not
I am.
me.
But Jaeger, no way. But tequila,
Isn't it weird how different things for different people, like
Yeah.
alcohol-wise? You know, like I've had friends that whiskey is the thing. As soon as they start drinking whiskey,
Yeah.
it's over.
See, whiskey I can do fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm.
Well,
good
we were
with
talking about
whiskey.
last night. For me,
Goddamn
it,
whiskey.
it goes. If I have one
God
shot of
bless whiskey.
tequila, that leads to 2 shots of tequila, and 2 shots of tequila leads to 14 shots of tequila, and there's no in between.
Yep.
So I got to either stop at 1.
You're
or
taking them out of
14.
navels at that point.
Yeah,
Mm.
out of my own navel.
Yeah, which is,
It's a navel
that's a
search
sight
and
to see.
retrieve. Yeah.
well, like when we were roommates, like he'd get home maybe like an hour before I would, and he'd already be kind of drunk. And then
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
get home and he'd be like, "Here, catch up with me," and like pour all these shots, and I'd be like, "It's 3 o'clock, why not?"
Yeah. By 5 o'clock when our other roommate got home, he would be like, so disappointed in both of them.
Dishes aren't done.
like,
the
what
house
happened?
looks like shit.
Yeah. So then it was just there finishing out the rest of the night. So, all right. Well, Matt, Jordan. So tell us a little bit about Dallas Brew Scene. Not too much though, because we know a lot about it. So we'll just. Well, you know what? I bet the people at home probably don't know
No,
much
probably
about
not.
it.
We can nutshell
guy.
it.
Keep it short
Yeah,
and sweet
yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah. So why
I
don't
don't
you
know
tell us
anything about it. You can
What?
talk to me. Ignore
Okay,
those
yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
I know nothing.
Yeah.
He's
We
like,
know
we're
our friends
good.
about
Jay
it.
and I, yeah, we
Yeah.
can chill.
We'll lower our
I don't
chairs
know.
and come talk.
Well, I guess I should say. Well, I guess I should say we got introduced to him because Jay and I, do the Bottoms Up Dallas Beer Show as well, and we had a couple of people be like, "These are 2 guys you need to get in touch with," because
Actually,
by comparison,
that's not how it worked at all.
I know.
Yeah. Who
I'm
said
summing
that?
this up.
Stop
Jay's
lying.
bringing back the realism
I
of the
met
fucking
Jordan.
I know.
world.
Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna give the whole
At
cool
DELoL.
story.
Yeah.
We weren't on the air that night.
Yeah.
It made for such a.
Yeah.
So, no,
It was a
not at all.
grand
though.
tale.
So then I
Jay was having none
and
of
I
it,
was
though.
like, "Mr. President, listen, I know these guys.
We need to bring them in.
I remember exactly how it happened." So why don't you tell the story the way it correctly happened?
I went to DELoL Brewery, a wonderful place, just to do some quick interviews and take some photos for our beer show that we do on Friday, first Friday of the first full week of each month. So next Friday, yeah.
Except that it's all con, so we're gonna move it back 1 week.
Yes.
Right.
So
We got
not really
stuck with
next
all
Friday, but anyways.
Generally, yeah, we do. Yeah.
And
Once a month.
I was taking pictures and interviewing the owner of DELoL Brewery, and that's where I met Kara, and we just
Right.
started talking, and I told her a little bit about the beer show and what I was there doing. And she's like, oh, my God, you have to come and meet Jordan. I was like, okay. Clearly, I must meet Jordan because you just said so. And she took me over. I met you. And
Yeah, I ran, but they caught me.
yeah, so she was like, no, you have to meet him. So I chased him down and tackled him. And I was like, I know who
Both
you are.
nude at the time. They had a lot to drink
Yeah,
at this point.
It was nude Thursday. I think it was Tate's birthday,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
nude Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, was
You
it
know.
Tate's birthday? I'm sure that was just a weird.
That's a good ending.
It got out of hand. But,
Happy ending.
I was jealous
thing-
of his beard, and so, had to run and tackle him and caress it.
It's all right.
Which is a running
I don't
theme of
blame
the
you.
Bottoms Up show. The beard,
Right,
the
yes,
beard
it
envy
is.
that generally
Beard
generally
down, bottoms
ensues.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much beard hair interlocks with other hair like Velcro
Yeah.
when you're naked. It's
Yeah.
quick.
I'll wake
Velcro's
up
a hair,
and,
right?
tie
Yeah.
the arm.
He's like his Velcro's
I said like hair. It's an analogy.
So, anyways, that's where I met Jordan, and we got Cara on the show, and then you started coming on the show and are a regular host with us now.
Been
So
hanging out ever since.
Very nice.
Hey, man.
Well, that's kind of how we work. Is we get in.
Like
Yeah.
parasites.
Yeah, and then once you're,
Sneak
oh
up
shit,
on
we
you
want
and
these guys
take you
gone.
on.
It's like, oh no, yeah, we're. Next thing you know, we're on. You guys are interviewing us on this show.
You're like,
we'll be
really?
at your house.
We're not on your show
tonight
anymore?
for dinner.
Maybe you want to explain these pictures.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't realize that, but now we're in. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
embedded. So.
Taff and I are going to be slowly phased out for y'all now.
Right. Even on this show.
I'll still be coming. I'll be sticking my face in.
I wish I could pull that quote out of context and run it.
I'll still be coming.
Should be like.
You know what, Jedi? Can we make a promo out of that?
Done.
It's over and over again.
I'll
So
still
what?
be coming.
So what do you guys?
I'll still be coming.
The LOL
I'm
show.
gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm done.
So guys, what do y'all focus on? What is Dallas Brew Scene about?
Just craft beer in DFW, like North Texas. We really started because we met through my wife and started homebrewing together. Weren't very good at it, and so realized that we and so decided we were better at promoting those that do, and wanted kind of
that.
our craft beer scene here to look more like the Portland or the.
You're like the Roger Ebert of beer. You're like, there's no way I'm making Schindler's List.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
kinda,
eat my
yeah.
bag of beans and pizza and make Schindler's List, but I can sure review it afterwards.
Well, and you have all these breweries open up, and Dallas it's crazy to us kind of when we started that there's so many people here, and we're so far behind some of the other cities.
Yeah.
Even like
it's
Austin
picking up
and
quick.
Houston. Very much so,
Especially
yeah. I mean,
this
you've
year,
got-
last year alone.
Yeah, you've got 10 if you count Cedar Creek and Revolver, which
But we
kinda
don't.
count.
We do count Revolver, but not Cedar Creek.
Not Cedar Creek. One of the two.
It's until we need them
You
on the
only
show.
get one.
They're like, you
they'll
guys
want
are-
to come on
you guys are
someday,
great, yeah.
and then they'll call back to like this soundbite and be like, "Yeah, fuck you guys."
You don't count us, we don't count you.
Yeah. Luckily we know them, so it should be okay. But yeah, that was the whole thing. So we selfishly wanted better beer here. We wanted the breweries that do open to, stay afloat. So we just want more people in the area drinking better beer.
Yeah, I think Matt
Yeah.
said it. We're selfish and impatient mostly, and we've seen it done better other places,
Yeah.
and we demanded it here.
So what's one of the best cities in America for craft beer? Good beer.
The big three
Portland.
are probably Portland's the one that always. Asheville, people don't realize,
What's
but Asheville,
Asheville?
North Carolina has.
Oh.
Beer City, USA. they're
13 or
called.
15 breweries or something
wow.
ridiculous
Wow.
like that. So yeah, throw a rock
We
in
need a road
Asheville,
trip.
you're gonna.
But everything
Yeah.
in Portland is craft. If
Yeah.
you ever watch Portlandia,
put a bird on it.
put a burn on it. It's like, we can pickle that.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not a put a burn on it beer there at this point.
You know
but
what? That's
There
true.
probably
You would
is.
think that.
Yeah.
You know what?
You
I just
don't-
gave-
at some point.
It's being home.
You just
brewed
don't-
right now.
you just
give
don't
it
know
to
it.
you.
I just gave somebody an
Or
idea,
if
and I
not-
want residuals from that beer.
Or if not, let's just release a beer here called the Portlandia Put a Bird on It
Right.
from Lakewood Brewery.
Don't love
Just
it,
take it
yeah.
from them.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't made a Portlandia beer.
Yeah,
in
that's
honesty,
true.
yeah.
'Cause That's
What
such a
is
great
it?
show.
When I go down to South by Southwest in 2 weeks, they're actually releasing a new Game of Thrones inspired beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I've heard
from
about
Omegon.
And,
that.
Yeah.
the night
Yeah.
that I go down there,
Iron Throne.
it's the final
Iron
night. They
Throne,
have like a
yeah.
huge gallery where it's gonna be like an art show displaying all the Game of Thrones art, but they're also going to be giving away like a bunch of like they debuting the new like Game of Thrones beer. Are you guys gonna be down there?
That's
at all?
awesome.
We'll be down there for it,
Really?
but yeah, we
It's
read
March
about
12th, so maybe I'll
Yeah.
try to bring you guys
Steal
back
some
a few.
for us.
But
Yeah,
I'm going
please
down
do.
there just for a couple of days, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna like.
Steal some of the art as well.
it. Yeah.
I'm hoping to buy a couple of prints. I feel like that just hit me in my face. But no,
Spit
I'm
'em out.
excited that I'm gonna get a couple of the Game of Thrones beers. It's just about to be released, so I don't know if you guys have heard about that.
Yeah, we heard about the beer. They
Yeah,
make
the artwork's awesome on the
Omegon
bottles,
is
too,
in
yeah.
Cooperstown, New York, and they actually make some awesome Belgian style beers. They're actually owned by the same brewery that owns Duvel. So if you've
I
ever
love
had
DELoL,
DELoL,
yeah.
DELoL more. I'm gonna
For the people,
That's
for the
definitely
people,
up.
for the people that
Well,
don't
it's
know,
8%. You can drink it like
Yeah.
it's water, So
what are some of the beers around? Like, sometimes a lot of people who don't know about craft beers walk in and they'll just see Revolver. They don't think about where that comes from, or St. Arnold's or something like that. So, what are some Dallas breweries? So that when you see that name, obviously DELoL Brewing Company, that should be pretty obvious. But what are some brewing companies around here so that when people see that name, they know, wow, that's local. That comes from just down the street. There's obviously DELoL Brewing, Lakewood Brewing.
Lakewood over in
Community
Garland.
just opened up, which is fantastic.
Four Corners.
I really like them.
Four
Corners.
Corners. Working there yesterday.
RAR.
Raw.
I always,
kind of the
I
one.
always forget about that. They're right over in Fort Worth.
Been around since 08.
Yeah.
Franconia
some
since
good
04, so
Don't
they're
forget
kind
Petty
of
Colas bringing a
Petty
gold medal.
Colas
Petty
is
Colas
awesome.
over in
That Velvet Hammer is
Incredible.
absolutely hands down one of the
Yeah.
best beers I've ever had. We have a
Yeah.
friend that married the beer.
That's right.
right.
You know, Allie? Yeah,
Allie,
she had the
yeah.
whole wedding at the brewery and has a ring and
Yeah.
changed her
2
last name.
kegs
There-
dressed up
Yeah,
in
there was a
tux,
keg
the whole
Yeah.
and
bit,
tux. And,
It was-
yeah, it was
It's,
bridesmaids
crazy.
and everything. It was,
Yeah.
it was a whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, Reverend.
Yeah.
Who actually baptized my son in
He had
craft
a
beer.
cookbook, I think
Like,
he was reading out of.
yeah,
instead of a
like the
Bible. It
taste
was-
of something.
Now, see, these are
yeah.
guys, like beer when they're getting their kids
No,
baptized.
these are guys I
in
need to go
beer.
party with.
Yeah, it was like 8,
Oh, yeah,
8
sure.
o'clock
Great.
at Untapped Fest last year
I would've kept
in
them
Dallas.
track
Yeah,
on
the
that.
music and beer festival that they're doing in April. They're doing the
Yeah,
Fort
the Big
Worth
Texas
one this
Beer
time.
Fest.
Yeah,
Nice.
Big Texas is in Dallas, and then Untapped is doing their Fort Worth version in April too.
Okay.
And then we've got our bus trying to fit it in April.
Right, and I want to
13th.
talk about that in
Yeah,
a little bit.
what's
The
the
brew
bus?
bus. Hold on, we'll come back to that because I want to have a whole little. I want to talk about that for sure. But what's some of your favorite places to go for beer? Not the breweries, but if you want to, go and have a selection of craft beers. What's a couple of the best places? To go? World Beer. Yeah, I was
World
gonna
Beer
say-
Company.
Yeah, World Beer Company's great.
Bottle Shop,
Bottle
World
Shop.
Beer Company, 2116
Yeah.
Lower Greenville.
Yeah.
I have to give them a shout out.
I actually taught a class there last week or a couple weeks ago, the Beer 101 class.
Yeah, you
so,
were telling me about that.
I'm kind of.
What'd you teach? What'd you?
It was
what'd you
beer,
break
just
down?
called Beer 101. So I just talked about beer. I'm a corporate trainer for my day job, and so to be able to talk about beer
Translates
for an
pretty
hour,
well.
yeah, it's like okay, usually I can talk about auto loans, and then I can talk about beer for an hour to people.
That's awesome.
The cool thing is where our scene is in the area, people are hungry for the information.
Yes.
So I've also taught some classes at Whole Foods and some stuff like that. And I think kind of when either one of us are out somewhere trying to buy beer, we kind of directly look
Spy
like.
on people and
Or
make sure they're
people-
buying the right stuff.
Or they'll even ask us, like, well, what should I buy? And I
I've
can't
caught
tell
myself
you.
doing that when I see somebody reaching for something, and it's like, dude, for $1 more, right there.
Yeah.
It's like
much
Temptress
better.
or RAR. I'm like, you
down
should
the
really,
Schlitz.
yeah.
Ooh,
But I
jeez.
noticed what I liked last night is Jay had a housewarming party over at his new place, and it was kind of nice to see that of course there
I'm
was.
sorry
the-
for not inviting y'all.
No,
I feel
Yeah,
like
geez.
we
a,
wouldn't have brought beer anyway.
I was
They
just
would've
saying that to
drank all
rub
the
it in. Yeah.
thanks, Deli.
But,
You make me look like
should've
as big
invited
of an
them.
ass.
Literally hours ago, we had a celebration.
Yeah, I told you to invite them, and Jay was like, "No, we're having them Sunday. I can't deal with that much." of it."
Yes, that is exactly what
2
I
days
was.
in a row.
But there was the ubiquitous, Bud Light, because it's a party. You got to have
Party,
free beer to
always.
give away.
And
So
it's
that's a big
Dallas.
deal. But it was nice to see that a bunch of people were actually bringing craft beers. Where I think 2
Yeah.
years ago, it would have all been Budweiser, Bud
You wouldn't have
Light,
seen a
Coors
craft
Light.
beer.
No
Yeah.
way.
Nope.
But last night we saw for the first time DELoL Brewing has cans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I was
The
totally
IPA
excited
and the
about.
blonde are in
Yeah.
cans
Oh,
now.
the
Which,
blonde is
Jennifer bought the blonde,
fantastic.
and those things got annihilated.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I was pouring at the DELoL tour yesterday, and we almost went through 2 full kegs of the blonde.
It's a
Yeah.
great
in
beer.
in
It's
3
really
hours.
good.
So yeah.
But yeah, so it was really nice to see that even at parties, people are starting to pick up because it's becoming priced the same as any beer you can get out of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And obviously, it has better flavor, better taste. And
Well,
it's
especially
cheaper.
like Whole Foods are great because
Yes.
Yeah.
they put them $8.99 Temptress 4-packs or
try
$9.99
it.
Temptress 4, or
Yeah.
you grab one out of the singles.
Now, I gotta
cooler.
say,
Don't be
So-
the Petticolas Velvet Hammer is a great beer. I do think the Temptress by Lakewood beats that out. I think,
especially
for
on
me-
Nitro, if you can find it at a bar on Nitro.
Yeah.
Oh,
my-
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I think that's my favorite local beer right now.
It's a tough competition between the two.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
was
the
up
Velvet
for-
Hammer is
They're neck
so
and neck there,
creamy and
Well, everything Petty
delicious.
Colas makes is just solid and balanced. Like,
Yeah.
everything.
And for the
about
same
beer-
price, why
yeah.
would you want to get? I don't understand the water. The canoe beer.
Right.
the way they
Do
put
you guys
it.
offer like private classes? Because I'm so used to drinking the same thing that I drink, and that's it. I usually go for like a lambic. I do a little bit of like Belgian.
Lambics are
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my wife's
Belgian's
like-
that's like my
gateway
favorite
beer.
thing.
Yeah,
Like
for
anything
sure.
like it was it like the Lindemans or something like
Yeah.
that. But like I know nothing about beer. I'm like,
Watch the
I'll
beer
just,
show,
you know,
Taft.
I
That's
grabbed,
that's
I
what the
grabbed
beer
this
show
'cause
is
it
for.
said superhero.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that shit.
The next community beer is a Belgian strong.
She'll sit in a room and listen to two fat guys talk, but she won't watch a show where this beautiful face is on it. What the hell is that about?
Well,
This guy's on the camera
she's,
anyway.
she's too busy watching Lifetime movies.
That's true.
It
Last
It is
night,
Sunday, so it is
Last night I
Lifetime
was
movie
crazy
day,
cat lady.
yeah.
I was by myself and enjoyed the silence to my home, and I sat there and watched 4 or 5 hours of Lifetime movies.
But
These
see, now,
guys-
now there's a whole
One song,
network,
yeah.
so it's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
dangerous for
Yeah.
it, you know. So
All right,
it's
I'm
like-
pulling this back. We're not going off into the Lifetime movies talk like we did.
I
it
got a
like-
whole bunch of material.
Like we did it.
Sad thing is, I could keep up with that. That's the worst part. It's like
I believe it, especially if you're married.
it's pretty bad that I could go toe for toe with it.
Well, you know, and ever since doing Bottoms Up Dallas, and especially since you guys and Cara came on, every time I go to the beer store now, I get something different.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You know, whereas
Music to
before
our
I
ears.
just used to stick like, you know, 1 or 2 things over and over again that I like. I'll occasionally fall back to some of my favorites when I don't want to spend, you know, a lot. But, you know, every time I go out now, I'm like, you know what? I haven't had that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm learning what I do and I don't like. For instance, I don't like IPAs as much. First of all, I like all of it. You know, the only thing I don't like is like just basically light beers that like Coors Light and stuff like
Well,
that. But
you know, everyone has their own preferences.
Right,
Like, I'm not a
exactly.
Hefeweizen fan.
Right,
That's
yeah,
just
and
a-
I say I like
that's just a
Hefeweizen.
taste
That's the
thing.
great
I
thing
do
about
too.
taste, and that's the great thing about craft beer is there's
yeah.
Yeah.
a beer out there for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
up there with stouts and porters. Pretty much, if it's a stout or a cream stout or a milk stout, I'm gold.
Hence,
like,
hence
full
the
flavor.
temptress.
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
And then of course porters, I'm a huge fan of. But I am learning also that, you know, I may not be a huge fan of IPAs, but if I'm walking through a store and I'm like, you know what, I haven't had that before, I'd rather pull something off the shelf, a local craft brew that's an IPA, rather than just another left-hand milk stout. Which, by the way, left-hand is great. I'm not knocking
Especially
them
the
at all.
nitro bottle. I
Oh,
keep saying nitro.
my
Like that's the,
God.
Good thing it's not the secret word of the day. We
Yeah.
don't really go,
But yeah, that's got to be up. The nitro's got to be up my top 5 favorite beers. Period. That one just has that. It's like you're drinking a steak and the dessert too.
That's
Whereas
right. I
like a
had one
Guinness is
last
just
night.
a
It's like,
steak.
that's my nightcap, oddly enough. A left
Yeah,
hand
I can
nitro.
have them. I can have them at night, no
Yeah.
problem before bed. And I
It's
feel
so
like I'm a baby.
smooth and chocolatey, and it's weird because it feels unnatural because you have to tip the bottle up
Uh-huh.
to pour it. So it's like you instead of pouring it all slow and nice and gingerly like you would a normal beer, you just
Froth
tip
it
the
up.
bitch over.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
let it
that's-
go, and it
That seems
but-
more
but-
along my lines. 'cause
and does
I'm-
the nitro thing, and it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Nice.
It's almost like science in your glass. You know? I don't know.
Well, and that's some of the things we've been learning from the show and from you guys as well. Is, you know, when I was in college, we learned to pour beer down the side of a pint glass because that's the quickest way to get the beer out. But it
Right.
doesn't necessarily release the most flavor and the most aroma. So I've been learning, of course.
Depends on the
Fuck,
style. Yeah.
fuck,
Of course,
fuck the
you're-
pint glasses.
You're probably pouring like Bud Light. into a
Right,
pint
exactly.
glass
So you're not
also.
missing anything. But you know, you'll see
Really
them do it at
unlock the
bars.
bouquet.
Well, you'll see them do it at bars too. They don't
Or
pour
the
right in the middle.
chilled shaker pint they call it,
Right,
which is like
the shaker pint, yeah,
right.
because they're serving so many people they can't afford to do that. But you know,
and it's the stack thing. I
yeah,
think,
and that's the
too.
other thing, right? You can stack them up. But at home now, I can't drink. I've actually gotten a little bit snobby where it's like,
Oh,
all I've
not a
got are
little bit.
shaker pints.
He's become very snobby
I
about
can't.
it.
Well, you see,
if I don't have my tulip glass,
Well, we
or,
did
you
the
know, I
glassware
don't have-
show with you
right,
guys,
I
and
could.
so,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if I don't have my
Yeah.
tulip glass or something
Dylan
that
is
compresses the
tulip.
top.
So we've known
I
Dell
don't
3
know.
months now, and we've already started pulling you to the dark side.
Oh, yeah.
We
Bring 'em
drink
in.
beer out of a bottle
But here's
again.
the deal: it's different. If you pour, you know, if I take a left hand or a temptress and I pour it down the side of a shaker glass and I drink that, it's almost like a little flat. There's not a lot of, you know, the carbonation's
Got
there, but it's
agitated a little.
right. Yeah, you pour that right down the middle, let the head sit, and pour it again. Man, I mean, it's like pops in your mouth. Then it's a real difference, like presentation wise.
Well, and that's even, you know, you asked about the best places to drink beer earlier. Kind of our unofficial headquarters is the Common Table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear
for
a lot about
of
that.
reasons, the food and the beer.
And where are
the
they
taps,
located
uh,
at?
Yeah.
Kind of on the
Fairmont.
fringe of Uptown, yeah, like right on right on Fairmont there,
Yeah.
kind of. The,
Or
Right
like a
behind the
couple blocks
Stonely
from my new
P,
place.
if you know
Oh,
where
well,
that
nice.
is,
We're
yeah.
gonna be
we
going
should
over there.
see you a lot more often.
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
for sure. The
No
big
excuse.
table out front is kind of, you know, affectionately known as the Common Table,
Right.
Yeah.
Because you go up there any given night and you're gonna meet
Beer nerds.
geeks like us
Yeah.
that'll sit here and talk your ear off about beer for an hour.
A lot of
And,
brewery people too go up there. You know,
yeah.
guys from
See,
Deep
that's-
Ellum,
that's
Pale
kinda
Balls, just
bottle
hang
shop.
out when they get
Like
off
that.
work.
Yeah,
and,
that's kind
you
of
know.
bottle shop too. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if you stop in there, there are going to be people there that care about beer. I mean,
Yeah.
there's very few people that walk in. I mean, if you walk, they don't have Bud Light or Miller Light. So if you walk in, you're like, I'll have a Miller Light. They're going to be like,
Leave.
There's a place across. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not rude about it, but
called
they're like,
7-Eleven.
there are plenty of places next door. We just
yeah.
don't have
Common
that.
Table used to charge like $7 or $8 for a Michelob Ultra bottle, and he called it asshole tax. Or like
Nice.
tax or something.
Then they quit selling it.
Yeah, but then he quit selling it. They don't have any Bud Miller Coors at all.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
funny.
Jack Max over on Preston and George Bush kind of followed suit.
North Dallas. Yeah.
So the more breweries that open it up, the more bars that are opening up that
Yeah.
carry, all Texas
When you can
beers
sit
or
there and
all
talk
local
to the
beers,
bartenders, a lot of time you'll walk in. I mean, bartenders know drinks in general, but if you say, "What do you have on tap?" They can say, "Well, we got these beers." Well, what's the difference? Well, I don't really know.
Yeah,
You
it's
go to,
beer.
you go to Common Table or Bottle Shop. What do you like? I like porters. What kind of porter do you like?
Right.
I
Or
like.
what have you had before
Yeah,
that
what have
you
you
like?
had before? Like what I really like is when we're talking to Chris or Steph, they'll ask you, "What do you like to eat?" And you can tell them what kind of food you like, and they go, "I know exactly what kind of beer you want," and they will
Nice.
find you a beer based on what your preference for food is. I've only been steered wrong like once, twice because they'll say, try this. If it isn't what you like, they'll give you something else.
Well, and the best places will give you a taster.
Yeah,
You can't
of course.
abuse it, obviously. So if you're that guy that goes in there
12
and gets
tasters.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me try that one over there.
But the other thing, most good places that have more of this good craft beer on tap offer flights, which you can go and get 4 or 5 little
Yeah,
3-4
I love
ounce
that.
glasses for a decent price usually, and try it, and that way you're not pouring a whole beer out. Or
Well, and I also like
whatever
that
it
they
is.
do growlers at a lot of these
I
places.
was just gonna say, Craft
Whereas-
and Growler just started doing
God,
flights
it's
for
so
the first
great
time. So
because
that's
instead
really
of
nice.
walking in and just getting a 6-pack or a mixed bottle case, if you're like, man, I really like this pecan porter, which is that 512 pecan porter is fantastic too.
Which they call their house wine, I think. At
Is
bottle
that-
shop, it's like $8 a growler all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean it's
Yeah.
period.
Something
That's
crazy,
you can
yeah,
always
so-
get the pecan porter.
That's the
there.
one that they say they always keep on tap.
Yeah,
Always.
it's
It was
because
like their
every-
first
it is
beer
their-
ever.
everybody likes it though. There's nobody
It's
I've
an
ever
awesome beer. I mean, it
Yeah,
really
it's
is,
just
yeah.
it's a good. I won't say middle of the road, but like as craft beers go, that's one that you can be safe with. Almost any person
Yeah.
will like that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I love the fact that you can take home a gallon of beer. If you're going to drink that in a day or two, like we are going to, it's not going to sit around forever. I don't
Yeah.
need all the bottles.
Well, at
know.
Craft and Growler, they actually have guns that push out all of the oxygen and replace it with nitrogen.
Oh
Bam.
wow, that's
And
even
And then-
better. Yeah.
So if
Last,
you don't crack
yeah.
it, that thing will last a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Easy.
Nice.
If you just let it sit in your fridge.
Without
And they have a crazy selection of growlers, like
Witchcraft.
some art pieces that are growlers. You got witchcraft, yeah.
Yeah.
Beer
What is this
witchcraft.
sorcery?
Yeah,
But-
what is this sorcery?
But beers like
Yeah.
Velvet Hammer, that's the only way you can have them outside of the brewery or outside of a bar
Yeah.
because Petty Colas, the only
Well, our
ones that package now are Lakewood.
Well, our friend
and-
Allie, who got married to it. Have you ever been over to her house?
I think she just
Yeah.
has it on tap
She
now.
has a freezer that she's converted into a keg.
She's earned that right.
Kegerator.
And she
Yeah.
has. Let's face it, Allie has earned the right
She
to
married
have
it
one
and
that
took
says-
its name, like, at least on Facebook.
She has in her
That's as
room.
official
It's
as
a
it
giant
gets.
That's
freezer.
basically official.
It is.
that-
Yeah.
She punched a hole through the door and installed a tap on the front of the freezer door, so you can just walk up and pour Velvet Hammer 24 hours a day in her house. In fact, if you try to bring beer over, she'll be like, "This is cute," and set it
Yeah.
aside, and then she'll just serve you her Velvet Hammer.
Pours you one of those. You're like,
So great.
okay, cool.
I believe she even gets like free kegs and stuff.
Oh,
of it, 'cause
yeah, I think Petty
she
Colas.
does
Yeah.
He
tons of work for
delivers
them
them to
stuff.
Bottle Shop.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
delivers them to Steph, and then Steph passes them off to her.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to Allie's after the
Oh
show.
man,
Right.
yeah, that's another girl that knows her stuff too, man.
Well, and the good thing about local beer too is it's not only are you supporting local business, which the back of our kind of our uniform shirts say "Drink Local," and that's
Yeah.
kind of our motto that we've gone with, And so not only do we want to support local businesses, but beer just tastes better when it's fresh.
No
you
kidding.
know?
No.
A Deep Elm IPA that was canned 2 days before that you
No.
go buy at Whole Foods. Did you just disagree with that? It tastes better fresh.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say.
Explain yourself there, Jay. Wait a
I
minute.
was going to say. If
You
we,
told me not to shake the table, but I'm about to jump over it. And go at Jay like
well,
a
if we
rabid.
want to taste fresh beer, like maybe from I don't know a local brewery, do you have a good way to get between local breweries?
Funny you should ask that, Jay.
Perhaps.
It's a matter of
Some
fact.
Look at
Set
your
up.
professional
Set up.
segue. You
Best
son
segue
a
of the
bitch.
day.
I wish someone would come up with something like that.
The segue was so good. We're talking about it, and it didn't work.
So y'all have this Segway tour y'all do.
Yeah, so we go like
be
Job on
dangerous.
Arrested Development and just jump on segways. And
Tie
take
everybody
off.
together on leashes. And
So
drag them
here's
with
an
us.
idea I had. What if there was, because I'm thinking about what you said, a bus or something that you could
I see a light bulb.
take? Yeah, you see where I'm going with this?
See,
I was getting the
I was-
DeLorean,
you
go
could
back in time
pay
and do this
people
last
ticket-
week.
Yes,
Amazing.
people buy tickets to get on a bus and take a tour around to different breweries.
That's
and
much
craft
better than what
places.
I thought.
What were you
I was thinking like rickshaws and have a bunch of Chinamen run you around town.
Well, you got to work off the beer.
You can't say
This fucker just said Chinaman. Holy shit.
You're like my 60-year-old.
Chinaman is not the preferred
There's a
nomenclature.
quote from the Big
I feel like I'm in a
Lebowski.
Seinfeld
Okay?
episode.
You like that?
It rolled off
Shot
so
your legs off
naturally.
and
So that's what
So
scares
what do
me.
you guys think about this? I mean, if you guys were going to do
Funny,
something like
funny
that, how
you
would
would
it
ask,
work?
Del and Jay. So our new endeavor is kind of a thing called Dallas Brew Bus.
Exactly
oddly
that.
enough, which
Good title, too.
will take you.
I'm
to-
learning how they do stuff. All they do is put Dallas Brew.
And then anything
and then
else.
whatever
we're gonna do
else they do.
after
that. Yeah, we
If they
didn't-
have sex dolls, it's going to be Dallas Brew dolls.
Which would fly off the shelves. Let's be
Beer
honest.
out the nipples,
Look at the
what are we
two of
talking?
us. That's what
What do you mean if?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our first one was last Saturday, not yesterday, Saturday before, the 23rd of February.
And so people buy tickets, and they explain it. So that you
So
have
the
a
first
bus
one was
that-
Lakewood. Yeah, it's a big old school bus, big yellow school bus. So that's kind of the cool. It goes along with the education piece, right?
and underage
They're all here to
drinking.
learn.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. No, IDs
Kids.
are required. We check ID.
Yeah.
You even sign a waiver that pretty much covers everything up to acts of God and zombie
Asteroids.
apocalypse
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Russian
I think it's written in
asteroids,
there. So yeah.
Solid.
It's
Yeah.
ironclad. It was
Good.
from a lawyer
We're
that
safe.
we know. Yeah.
Safety first.
So past the legalese, get to the fun part.
Right.
Yeah.
So last week was our inaugural tour. We rented out a big yellow school bus, met in the parking lot of Community, which is right across from American Airlines Center.
I love Community,
And there's
by
yeah,
the way.
it's such an awesome brewery. And so that's where we end because they're open later and because we absolutely love Community. They've been awesome to us from the get-go. We actually found Kevin at his office before he even.
Yeah, I stalked
Kevin-
him.
Kevin Carr?
Kevin Carr, the owner. Yeah,
Founder.
Jordan went online
Yeah.
and did some research and
I found his
him.
secretary, and he was flabbergasted. He's
I'll
like,
He's
have
like,
you
what are
know-
you
How does
calling me
anyone know?
for again?
I'll have you
We're
know
Dallas
that.
Brew Scene. We
I'll have you
found
know that one time he said to me, "Oh, that's right. I think I did meet you before."
Good
I'll
story.
have you know he said that to me.
Oddly enough, one of the articles written
story,
about our
bro.
Did you
bus
touch him?
has a
That face was
picture that
ridiculous.
you're in from that inaugural.
Oh,
tour.
really?
Yeah, from that from the open house.
We
of
were
the
lucky enough to
community.
be invited for free to come out and check out their opening, and man, was that a blast! All good people.
Such a
too.
state-of-the-art brewery, awesome people. The beers are amazing
I want to
because
see this picture now.
Jamie. Yeah, I'll send it over to you. Jamie has a kind of
History.
prestige,
Yeah.
because he owned the Covey in Fort Worth and has won some medals. So their brewmaster actually has some tried and true recipes that have won some international and some.
And what's cool is
national
when they give
medals.
the tour, he will talk about
Oh yeah, he
some
can
of
talk
that.
in depth.
You know,
about
I
it.
mean,
He's got the Britney Spears microphone.
He's got a
You
little
seen that?
Britney
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah.
He dances while talking.
Well, it's
I
funny
wish. I
because
hope so,
he's
yeah.
got this little suitcase thing that's in the front of it, which is the battery pack,
Yeah.
and his assistant brewer Eric, which was with him at the Covey, so he knows the thing. Or two
and
as
Eric's
well.
a little bit of a sweetheart.
funny guy, and so he goes, "Oh, I need a beer." Last week when we were there, and because it was the end of our bus tour, and he goes, "Oh wait," and looks over and pulls out this beer out of
Their
this
PA has a cooler in
thing.
it or
He's
something.
like,
I don't know.
"I'm
yeah.
good." I was like,
It's a brewery PA for sure.
Nice.
So
It was funny. Yeah.
you guys meet up at the
Yeah, so
at that parking lot.
Right.
Native Bank community.
Part of the story is, I think, maybe a little backstory is around Texas. They can't keep the breweries open and sell beer out of the breweries, so they sell these tours for a short period of time on
Gotcha.
the weekends.
Yeah.
So you can kind of come in, check it out, and as part of the tour, you get free samples.
right.
So the beer is
So,
complimentary.
Part of the
Right.
problem is that you get these
Yeah.
limited time windows to check out all the breweries, and when they're open all at the same time or something like that, it's hard to check out multiple ones. So we're
or when you're drinking
Put
beer
them
all
all
day and
together.
driving across
Right,
Dallas.
you don't
Yeah,
want to,
then the
because
drive.
that's the
Yeah,
one thing
yeah.
we don't do. We want people to drink craft beer. We want people to drink locally, but we don't want them to drink and drive locally.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So if you want to do it in another
Bad
state,
decision.
like Oklahoma, I don't care what you do there,
Yeah.
because you could damage everything.
Have fun on the highways.
Yeah, have fun
Yeah.
on speed.
Speed
But here
traps.
in Texas, a real state, I don't want that happening. You know. So, man, so that sounds like a lot of fun. I guess next time you'll do one of these, we're gonna have to.
We need to have the
and
bottoms up
there's
out.
snacks, you know.
Yeah.
When,
guys
I know you
like-
like
I'm going
snacks,
for the
Del.
snacks.
So next one's March 23rd. The first
I'm
tour.
getting more like Matt every day.
Right. Yeah, we'll get there quick. The first tour sold out in 4 days. The second one has one ticket left. I think we can probably work in a couple more tickets on it.
Okay.
But we kind of have finite numbers just because.
Oh, sure.
It's a
the
bus.
first time we're doing.
We'll
What
do
we
a
would
pre-taped dinner.
eventually-
We'll do a pre-tape thing that we could run on the Bottoms Up Dallas.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The next one, so the first one was Lakewood, Four Corners, and Community. March tour is, and then food was provided by Luck. So they just signed their lease over in Trinity Groves. And the first time they provided us with lemon grass braised.
Lemongrass,
Lemongrass.
braised, slow
Braised
roasted pork
banh
shoulder
mi.
banh mi sandwiches with
That
fresh
the entire
jalapenos.
bus, 34 people, were completely silent on the bus.
Drooling.
when we broke those out. Yeah, they were
Groans,
like,
moaning.
I think I literally heard nom nom.
Food zombies.
Okay, so wait, so I could say this is safe to do for maybe even a romantic thing for a
Birthdays?
couple.
Date after
Actually, our
date.
next
For
on the March
birthdays,
tour, we
gifts?
have a group, and it's the guy emailed us, and it's a baby shower.
So.
And
That is
that's how they're
all
going to kick
comers,
off
all
their baby
comers.
shower.
Yeah.
Everyone will be happy.
And,
except
yeah, I
for
was
the
like, dude, I have a
pregnant lady.
14-month-old.
Yeah.
I wish we had done that for
Well,
a baby
and
shower.
you know, we've talked before. Carol and I were like joking around about the idea of marriages, but ever since Allie had hers in the place, we were like, where would be a really cool place to have a wedding
Somebody
and
got married
reception?
in DELoL a couple
A
weeks
freaking
ago.
brewery. Like, that's
Yeah.
an awesome idea.
The beer is right there. There's huge open spaces.
Yeah.
It's all
Live
it's
music
everything.
a lot of times.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can have bands
Food.
play.
The reception I'm going to today is actually for Scott and Kaya, who actually got married at the Double Wide, and so
Oh,
they
cool.
got married.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so they
forgot
got married
about that.
in
Yeah.
the Double Wide, and they had the beer was right there, and that was
Double
that's
wide,
shit.
much better than the single wide.
Yeah.
Fucking single wide.
That place sucks.
Probably, yeah.
So when you
Love
guys
the
do
Double
these
Wide,
tours, like, is it like all inclusive? So they pay you guys, and then when they go in there and they do the tours, they get how many beers do they get per place?
Yeah,
Something
so
like that?
we make up our own little 6-ounce snifter glasses that have Dallas Brew Bus and then our Dallas Brew Scene logo on the other
Oh,
side.
some of those for their
Um,
Bottoms Up
they're
Dallas
adorable.
show.
And then,
Yeah.
we'll bring
Tell us
some
how to
up
get those.
next
You
year.
just
Yeah,
want
we'll order
free
some.
stuff.
You have to buy a ticket to the bus, though.
No, I mean, I want to make some of those for Bottoms Up Dallas.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
we
want to
can
see
do
how
that.
y'all
Yeah.
go through it.
We
Yeah,
did
let's do
MW
that.
Periscope is their name.
That'd
They're
be good to
awesome.
do
They
the
were like,
samples out of
They
it.
do all
they
the
do
beer
the glasses for
around
the
town.
Moth for DELoL, so we called them.
Moth,
We're all
yeah.
nervous because it's our first time, and we're like, can we have them in time? They're like, you're getting the glasses that everybody orders for festivals. We have
They run it.
pallets of
They're
them
good.
in the back.
They're real
good,
Like,
yeah.
get us the
Nice.
design.
They're like,
We've
just
got
chill
your
out.
glasses. Yeah, we're all like nervous Nancy's over here. Like, oh, I don't know
Oh,
if they're
that's
gonna get here in
adorable.
time. you know?
Yeah.
Your first
You
glass
love Nancy.
I know.
purchase.
We were all I was pacing before the thing. Like, giving it was nerve wracking.
That's
because
awesome.
we wanted it to
How long
be.
does something like that last? Like when you go on tours at like an hour? or
So we
something?
started last time like 11:30, I guess. We ended at 5 at Community.
I'm
The
hoping
next
that's
one-
AM to
All day.
PM, not PM to AM.
It is, yeah.
I'm
11
kind of hoping
a.m.
PM to
Vegas
AM.
style.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
all night.
Yeah, with the food too, it kind of helps. So we limit. You get a tasting card. The whole point of it for us was to make it safe, so people could try a bunch of different beer, check out these different breweries, and see the kind of differences.
Yeah, because if
And
they still have to
drive
drive,
home.
if they still have to drive home from Community, all you did was load them with 3 times as much.
Yeah.
in a nice little circle, and then send
Yeah.
them on their way. Yeah. So we limit it, and we also wanted it to make it a little more special. So the commemorative glass. Each tour is going to have.
Oh, so
a
you get to
different-
keep the glass.
Oh,
Keep the glass.
absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
Each tour has a commemorative tasting card, and that has
Kinda like one of
ours.
these guys
We're
here.
gonna eventually
That no one on the
hopefully
radio
get
can see.
sponsors and put them on the back. Yeah,
Cool.
this sort of thing. So then you go through, you get marked off. So
I
that
know
way
a
the
I know a
breweries
show
can-
that might want to sponsor with you guys.
Well,
Who has a birthday next?
tell
Is it
them
me?
to get in touch.
You probably.
I'll see. I'll have
Do
my.
you know anybody
I'll have
that
my
you could
people
get-
reach out to you. I'll have my seconds contact your seconds.
All right.
So,
So I guess
yeah,
Yeah.
whose birthday's coming up? We need to
I
do
think
this
it's
for
me.
our birthday. Do you want to
Do
do
you
this?
think
We
it's
need
you?
to get on this.
Me.
Okay,
You.
we're doing it
Oh,
then.
wow.
That's it.
When would that
Yeah.
be?
That's August, but we can celebrate it way earlier.
Just
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
half
Yeah.
birthday or something. Or
So
like,
what
you
do the
know,
tickets run?
$50.
Whoa.
They get
Oh.
you
That's-
access to the
nothing,
3
yeah.
breweries
Yeah.
with the glass, with the snack. Excuse me.
Snack.
Got a frog in my throat.
Yeah, meals. It sounds
Meals,
like.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's on
was
me,
very,
in
yeah.
March, and they've asked us in February, excuse me. They've asked us in March, so I'm gonna kind of leave it up to them. They knocked it out the park the first time.
Hey.
Why mess with it? They know the food, we know the beer.
Yeah.
So why not? The other good thing is, just to kind of selfishly plug, we've been kind of at it indirectly before we even started Dallas Brew Scene for 5 or 6 years. The two of us kind of in the what little scene we had at the time. So once we started this, we got really good relationships with the brewers and stuff. So eventually we want to integrate bars and brew pubs if those start opening up and things like that, and really just highlight the craft beer scene in Dallas with the bus as well as the site and everything
I
else
mean,
we
this
do.
is all just
So-
exciting, especially this last year or two, where
Yeah.
craftsmen becoming.
We got really lucky. We started Dallas Brew Scene right when everything started to blow up.
Exact right
You got
time,
really
yeah.
lucky. You guys got to meet us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
that day you tackled me, it was
No,
when it all
yeah.
changed.
No, we're really lucky to have
Weird.
you guys on the show too, because I wanted to produce a show about beer because I just started getting into liking good beer, and really it's because I started going to Bottle Shop, knowing Chris and Stephanie. They kind of got me into it. I was like, God, I would love to do a beer, a show. And then luckily we meet people that actually know more than we do.
Yeah.
Because we know how to kind of put together a show, but I don't know so much about the beer.
It's like I told you first time that I met him. I was like, I'm an enthusiastic amateur.
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
Absolutely.
I love beer, but I don't really know.
But-
squat.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
the type of
very
people we
much
love
The
to meet.
enthusiasm is
because-
probably one of the things that goes across the whole.
And I guess I should
scene
say
of
thanks to
people.
everybody that helps us with that show when we do the Bottoms of Dallas. It's, first of all, Dallas Brew Scene, Bottle Shop, but specifically Chris Hanks and Stephanie Rothsberger and
Clay.
Cara.
Ikara,
Ikara
the
is
Texas
a big,
brunette.
Texas brunette, big help to that. So, well, guys, we're gonna have to take a quick break. We're gonna come back and review Nazi Werewolves from Outer Space. You're welcome.
So you didn't read it for nothing. So
Having not read it, you're totally welcome to sit in on the review too. But we're gonna do a quick review of that, and then we're gonna come back with Black Mariah. Woo! So we're very excited to have her.
Everything stayed going the whole time.
So, guys, how can people check you out real fast though? Give us some contact info.
DallasBrewScene.com.
Yeah, and through that, the front page has links to our social media. So every day we post a event. So the events that are going on that day, craft beer related, Twitter. So it's really, a lot of social media and just kind of ground roots. Get out there and meet people.
Awesome. .net, whatever,
Yep.
So just basically DallasBrewScene.com.
DallasBrewScene.com.
Find us.
All right, guys, and we say thanks for coming on the show. We'll be back with Trauma Comics up next.
3 o'clock in the morning in the city of humidity, staying up with the demon. Wait a high for me to go to sleep. When a rich man go to the poor man's shop, nobody seem to know your name. When you're lost in time and the red light shine, but everything gon' be okay. Let me tell you about the ladies in the city of humidity. They can drive a man crazy, make me really want to get with you. From the local bar to the Saxman car, whatever gonna be will be. But it won't go far, cause my love is jar. You'll always have a piece of me.
DELoL Show.
Funny stuff.
Sunday, 2 to 3. Deep Ellum on air.
Guys, we're back with the DELoL Show. I want to say, of course, thanks to Dallas Brew Scene, guys. You were wonderful.
You guys. We love Adorable, fun.
So,
thanks for the
yeah,
knowledge.
for only having one beard, they're all right guys, aren't they?
One beard?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, look at him. Matt's
a beard and a half.
Yeah, it's a beard and a half.
I'm
It's
more
not too
partial to the
bad.
full beard. And the hat's a nice compliment, so it works.
So he has a beard under the hat.
I know.
In all fairness, I've never seen Jordan without the hat, so I don't know what's underneath
That's
there.
Hey, it's
true.
kind of like
I
me
know.
because you really don't see
He
Taps
does
without
have
the hat.
hair under the hat.
Oh, hey. All right. Anyways, we have
now on the
we have
show-
a different guest.
Yeah,
to
we
talk
have
to now.
Black Mariah on the show today.
Hi.
The show's own, as you've been on the show before. So
I
what have you been
have.
up to?
I have been doing a lot. I started my own show with Angie B. Lovely, who's another Dallas legend in
She's
burlesque.
fantastic.
Queen of burlesque.
The queen of burlesque.
I'll
Let's
admit,
not scoff at that.
I'll
Yeah.
admit, I have a pretty big crush on her. I have had for a little while.
You know what? I do too.
But so do most. To be honest, so do most guys.
She's pretty adorable.
She's
Yeah.
pretty awesome, and she's incredibly talented. Like, not just a really great burlesque dancer, but
See, I wouldn't even know. I can't get past the looks.
an incredible aerialist and circus performer, a
Yeah.
hula hooper, fire person. Just, like, there's not a whole lot she doesn't do. And in fact, like, you go to her house and it's like Angie's House of Circus. Awesome. There's animals. There's things hanging out of the ceiling that you can climb on. There's beer or wine in the fridge. It's pretty awesome.
All right.
All right, we're going there.
Yeah.
You get us in.
Yeah, all right. We'll make a day of it.
Get her on the show too sometime.
Yeah,
Really
should have
good.
brought her. What was I thinking?
We all can pair up. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
bring them both show. So Taff, of course, you know I've known you for a little while, but Taff's known you a lot longer, and y'all have worked together before, and
Yes.
y'all have a professional relationship. God, Taff looks like a midget sitting next to her on that little chair.
Vertically challenged.
So,
right here.
Well,
so look, it's 3 boobs in a row.
Well, that puts her in striking distance for boob punches.
Right.
Oh
So
my
let's talk
God.
about the boob punches we were talking about during the break.
That's true. Occasionally I'll have like a girls' night to where it'll be like a themed. We had Star Wars.
Jay and I have girls' nights occasionally too, where we invite lots of girls over and do things to them.
Did they
Yeah.
all wear Princess Leia outfits? And
No.
sleep in tauntaun sleeping
Not
bags?
not
and
enough.
have a
We
Star
win.
Wars themed food because we had
It's hard to-
Tuscan Raider taters.
Yes.
She made this incredible
awesome.
TIE Fighter s'mores.
Yeah, TIE Fighter
That's
s'mores.
awesome.
And then, but yeah, like we'd watched episodes
to
4,
go
5,
to
and
there.
6, and we had about there's like 8 or 9 girls that were over there, and it was a bunch of our friends who were really into Star Wars, so we watched all that, and I got really tore up, and I felt so bad. I felt really bad because I don't remember doing this, but she was like, "You punched me in my titty" the next day, and I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, you were like punching bag."
It wasn't like a friend punch. It was like she reared back like a prized fighter and
There's
then
something
took
kind
a
of
freaking swing at
sexy
my
about
tit.
that, actually.
Yeah.
Weirdly
I couldn't
enough.
help it. I mean, her boobs
Everyone
were
in the room
big.
was like,
Yeah,
I'd had a
let's-
lot to drink. We were all in our PJs.
Let's face it, they're bigger than my head.
They
Yeah.
really are.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, they're kind of sensitive. If you punch them, they get upset.
Well, see,
I felt bad for
I'm
about a
picturing
week.
like there's the impact, but then the other boob, like one of those.
It's
Newtons.
slow-mo,
Oh,
it
there's
goes-
just
A
a
Newton's cradle. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. So,
Yeah, it kind of absorbed the impact,
Well,
but
no,
definitely.
I'm
on
thinking
this side
about
was
30 minutes
traumatized.
later, when the other one finally came back the other direction, hit Taff in the face. You know?
No, by that
Totally
point,
got her.
I was on the bed with my hands up going, I'm still partying.
We were like, I think she's out. No, I'm still good, guys. I'm still good.
Yeah, nice. I will tell you this about when Jay and I have girls' parties, though, and you asked if the girls are in costumes. Not usually, because it's pretty hard to dress them after they're roofied up, because
Yeah.
they're pretty limp. So you got to think you're
the-
mangling a
and the-
whole
That's
human
what she
body
said.
You're
into
not doing
different
it right
outfits.
then.
the
You're
the
not
dead
doing
weight.
You're gonna have
fights
to
it.
come over and show us then.
Yeah,
'cause
if they're
I'm
not
saying-
fighting you back, you should be able to put anything on them.
See, I'm not. Well, like I said, I'm
We're
an
lazy.
enthusiastic amateur, though.
wow.
When it
There you
comes,
go.
but when it comes to rape, though, I'm an enthusiastic amateur. I'm not a professional.
And there go all our viewers and all the sponsors.
Except all the rapists at home. They're like, yes, I like
Send
this
them money.
Told you it was socially acceptable.
So how do you?
Our
how,
Indian audience
how did
just
y'all
went through
first
the
get to
roof,
know
though.
each other, and how do y'all work together professionally?
I think we probably just met because back in the day, a long time ago, before I got burnt out on it, I was doing a lot of pinup modeling and just was lucky enough to meet some cool people because believe it or not,
You're
there's
welcome.
not a lot of cool girls in the Dallas area.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard for
Very
me to actually
catfighty.
like meet anyone who's in the same stuff I am. And she's like, I like Star Wars. And I was like, yay.
Or without being obnoxious or pretentious
And
or
actually-
fake about it.
And actually knowing
Yeah.
what, and knowing her shit. And, believe it or not, she
'Cause
actually
we know
does.
2 or 3 that have that image, and they are not those type of people at home. I think specifically
yeah.
we can probably think of 1 or 2, but that purport to
Big
be
head,
the nerd.
itty bitty body, and I'm gonna shut up.
Okay.
So, but she also
I know
does
who
like
you mean.
an incredible Princess Leia burlesque routine and a Wonder Woman routine. So like before we actually became like friends, I was like, I kind of like her. She's cool.
Yeah.
And kind of creeped her for a little bit, and then we just started becoming friends and stuff. And
That's
then,
good because I was totally skeezing and creeping on you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see her new costume. It's amazing.
I'll admit I had a crush on you for maybe 6 months before I realized you had a face. So, I mean, I liked you immediately.
I
I'm
love
like, Jay,
creepy
check
things
look
like
at
that.
this. Did you notice this part? That is awesome.
Not a butterface.
No, you have a very pretty face too. I like that.
I think a lot of it has to do with the positive part of being on the social network. Social network.
That was
And
That was a
that
hell of
is
a
the
noise.
second
And
fart
that was
noise
not
that's
out of
come
her mouth
this side
either.
Of the table in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The second.
That other one was supposed to be silent. I'm sorry. But, just seeing
worry, we're
everything
not
that she
broadcasting in
posts and stuff
smell-o-vision.
like, that, she liked was a lot of stuff I liked. And so I guess we just kind of became friends. And then most recently, she started doing the Naked Girls reading, which is awesome.
This I love. Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
awesome.
let's,
Yeah.
Stick that in front of there. And she invited me to be the host of that, which I'm, a little nervous about because, I'm not really much
and
of an
nakedgirlsreading.com/Dallas, just for people that want to check that out while they're watching the show here.
Yeah.
If you need a co-host, I can help you out with that. I'll probably just stare at naked girls reading, though.
There's Tom Servo
It's okay
on the cover.
because we've all come to the realization after doing this for a couple of years that when each of us are reading, whoever's reading, we're just staring at her tits while she's reading. And I was
That's
like, I
all
would never admit that out loud. And then I admitted it to Angie B. Lovely. And she was like, oh, good, because I was definitely looking at your tits while you were reading. And I was like, I was hearing everything you were saying. I was just looking at your
Because
boobs.
let's face it, I watch people's mouths talk all day. It's not often I get to stare
Yeah.
at boobs while hearing awesome bits of literature.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what this is, right? It's
you guys are gonna have
explain
some
it
stuff
a little
from
bit.
like Philip K. Dick. You guys are gonna have.
Yes.
Who's reading? Who's doing Philip K. Dick? Who's that?
Me.
Of course you
course.
are.
Yeah.
Of course I am. That's one of my
Of course I
favorite
am.
sci-fi authors.
Oh,
so I
yes,
was like, who's
absolutely.
doing that? Okay.
Yeah. So,
Philip
I
K.
mean,
Dumpster Dick. I told you I'd get that in this
You
episode.
finally fit it in.
Shut up, dumpster dick. Sorry.
Hey, Reese. That's what her and her parents are
Hi,
I
watching.
know.
Reese.
Hi, Reese. our newest addition that's 9 years old.
No, she's the official kid of the show.
I met her
She's
a couple of weeks
awesome.
ago at Sci-Fi Con, and I saw she was on the show. I didn't get to watch the show, but
Don't
when I
watch
saw
it.
the picture,
You'll feel like you haven't done enough with your
I feel
life.
dirty.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
dirty that I came on here and just said 4 and 5 letter words.
No,
There
you'll
was
just
a
feel like
child
you'll be
in the
like
seat last week.
No, you'll just be like, I have done nothing with my life. This
Yeah.
child has done so much
She
more than I
is.
have.
I didn't know she was involved in a charity.
ridiculous.
in a band.
And then she
does
had this
everything
thing on her
else.
shoulder and it moved. It was a puppet. I was like, I feel like I'm failing at life. This kid is
Yeah.
winning all the way.
Yeah, but this is an adult one today. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, this
We're
is-
Ball sack.
We're back to normal.
Yeah.
Balls, penises,
Testicles.
double fisting, double
Dumps-
dildos
dumps,
in your
dick,
ear.
anal
Jerk
penetration,
DVDA.
cream pies.
Yes.
We're so mature here. When I say adult, I don't mean adult in maturity. I mean adult in immaturity.
adult language.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
So aside from the Geek Girls reading, you've also started kind of like your own because you've been doing like burlesque with like random troops, but right now you've actually started something. What is it like the Clever Girl Cabaret?
Clever Girl Cabaret is a recurring burlesque show, and I started this with Angie B. Lovely because we had a Tron routine and we had like a little Miss Muffet routine, which never got booked anywhere. We were like, we don't really have anywhere to do this, and these routines are badass. What are we doing with our lives? So I was talking with her, and I had a friend over in Orlando, and she did this burlesque show, and I saw the flyer for it, and it was for a Lord of the Rings burlesque, and I looked at it, and I was like, how do you make that sexy? I don't understand. And then this picture surfaces of her with the eye of
facial
fucking
hair.
Sauron on her head.
I was just thinking you
And I
dressed
was
as
like-
Legolas.
I instantly thought of beards and elves.
See,
so.
I'm a dude, and I was attracted to that dude. So I'm like, if a girl was playing him, I'd totally bang that.
Yeah, well, this picture surfaces of her and just this banging body, and she's got this glowing eye of Sauron on her head. And I was like, I took the phone and the picture, and I looked at my husband, and I go, what am I doing with my life that I'm not right here? This girl is amazing. And it just inspired me, and I was like, we've got to do this. Dallas doesn't have anything going on where we can do Tron and Princess Leia routines more than once
Here's
a
an
year.
idea. I'm beginning to believe that we need to start having a crossover of groups. We need to have the craft beer groups
Yes.
and the burlesque groups.
Yes.
Need to start co-working at shows. Craft
They're
beers
actually
at their
intermingling a
perform-
lot more than you know.
No,
a lot
they
with
kind of
Ginger
are.
Valentine's husband is yes.
Girl, I didn't even know it was yours.
Well, here's
Oh,
what I'm
that's
thinking.
so great.
The next time we do some kind of burlesque show, why not bring in some craft beer guys?
Yes.
Next time we do a craft beer show, why not send over a few of the burlesque girls?
I am down with that.
See?
Yes,
That would be.
absolutely.
On the
It's
bus, like-
that is meant sex and alcohol. There is no reason those two
Wait a
should not.
minute.
That's
Whoa,
the
whoa,
only
whoa.
reason why a lot of people
Have those
get
ever
laid.
been mixed together?
No,
do we,
that's
do
what
we
I'm saying.
know
This
how
is
those
original.
will be combined?
If we can just put a sports car in there, if we can get like a car dealership with sports cars, we're gold. So.
I don't know. Yeah, I think there's something to this.
But do you
sex
think
and
we could do
alcohol.
that maybe next time we do a craft
Absolutely.
beer thing? Get one or two of the girls to come out.
Yes,
And I think
yes.
that would be great. Like you and Angie would. You,
I would. Yeah, Angie's really. Yeah, she'll be mad if I don't bring her.
Okay,
She'll be
great.
mad.
You guys can come up with your own little like beer routine. You guys can dress like little mugs and go in there
Or
like,
no, the
let's
beer-
go out
or-
to the
or-
beer shop.
The German beer girls. I would love to see
Oh,
a
yeah.
burlesque routine.
Yes.
Pouring beer all down you and stuff like
Yes,
that.
this has to happen.
Okay.
It's gotta happen. I mean,
No.
you know,
Beer and babes.
Dina
Beer
Mar-
and broads.
Dina
I'm thinking
Von
of-
Teese has her martini
yeah.
glass. I'm gonna shut it down with a beer mug.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
totally
Shut it
should.
down.
Bo-
You
boobs
totally
and
should.
beers, boobs and brews, something like that. I'm trying to think of a good show we could.
Broobs.
Broobs. Taffety, you won that round, Dumpster Dick. So, well, anything special coming up in addition to that?
Yes. So Alcon weekend, which you've talked about.
Yeah,
We've,
absolutely.
This
Funnest weekend of the year for me.
me too. And you
have
know
a
that's where I
hotel
got
room.
my start in Dallas.
Yeah.
That was the very first burlesque show that I did, and that whole weekend I was just overwhelmed by oh my God, these are my people. These are my people. So every year I've come back. This will be the first year we've done Naked Girls reading at Alcon, which
Wait,
feel
aren't there
like-
kids at this thing?
Yes,
assume it's
but
a
this is
closed
a
room?
21. Yeah, it's a closed room.
Okay.
It's a 21 and over event. It's going to be amazing. And then we've got the burlesque show on Saturday night,
Right,
which
that's
is
always exciting.
Where we're going to bring the Leia and the Awesome, and we've actually got a guy coming from Chicago, Bazooka Joe, who does
Bazooka.
Yeah,
I like
he
that
does
guy's gum.
Bazuma.
He's awesome. He does a speed racer routine. So I mean, he's got
Go home.
Oh, I know
Tell
the
you
guy you're
drunk.
talking about.
yeah,
he's really good actually.
Yeah, they're all really and
Next year
Thundercats
we're
and
bringing you
everything.
guys to Alcon. It's a convention for everything.
It really is.
So why can't we have craft beer in there as well?
Why not? I feel like we should.
Yeah.
And then the following week is the debut of Clever Girl Cabaret, and Saturday night, March 16th. March 16th at the Quixotic Theater.
Nice.
She's got the giggles.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing a big dick bazooka right now.
Oh my god. All right, well, what's the best way people in touch? Because we're going to about wrap it up. We're going a little over time today. I know we had a late start, but what's the best way for people to get in touch with you and your boobs?
With me personally and my boobs?
Well, I meant by your boobs, your other coworkers. I like
with
how
me
I
and
like
my
how she's
boobs,
doing this. with the camera.
you can go to blackmariahdallas.com, or if you want to talk to me about Naked Girls reading or Clever Girl Cabaret, you can go to clevergirlcabaret.com and shoot us an email. You can click on the Kneel Before Zod tab and submit your own act.
That's awesome, yeah.
You can shoot us an email, fan mail, worship us, whatever you want to do.
All right, so guys, y'all up for going for the Naked Girls reading? Y'all want to go out with us?
Funny,
Yeah.
It's so funny. We've been talking about that for weeks.
Okay,
Should.
we'll go out.
This is going to be a really good show.
I tell you what, could we do a pre-taped interview out at that with a couple of the girls,
Yes.
and we'll run it on the next show or after
Absolutely,
that or something?
absolutely.
Okay, great. Can we get free tickets so that we don't have to pay to get in?
You know
Okay.
that.
We're
You know that's a
pressed.
fact.
I'm gonna get us all hats
We're
that
already
say
there, though.
press.
Yeah, with the little card in them.
Yeah, I'm gonna, with the card
The hat
in
band?
it. So.
Ooh, nice.
Scoops Callahan, one of my favorites, Jimmy Olsen. So, all right, well, I'm really excited about this, so we're all going to be there for that. It looks like, again, the Trauma Comics got pushed back, so
Sorry,
I'm
Simon.
so sorry,
I'm
Simon.
gonna say I really enjoyed the comic. I
Loved
can't
it.
wait to find out who the fuck is masterminding
here's
behind Gorilla Hitler.
well, let's do a mini 30-second review from everybody to have, because we're going to do a full one, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Rose.
I'm digging the art. It's way better than I thought it was going to be. It really reminds me of the old William Gaines, like the EC comics. It really should have been something that was back in the day with the
Yeah.
shock suspense stories. I want to know who the fuck is pulling Gorilla Hitler's strings. I'm really digging the crazy werewolf Nazi doctors, the werewolf,
Yeah.
Yeah.
three-eyed
I
werewolves in
want to
general.
know how it's going to evolve for the boy that
Yeah.
the story is following. I
Yeah.
want to see him just become a badass because the military is about to move in. I think this kid, they're going to find this kid just killing on his own. He's going.
Yeah,
he's
I
gonna lose.
can kind of see that, too.
He just lost
He's
his
losing.
mama.
Yeah, he's losing his shit.
Yeah.
and,
And
so,
I really like that it's almost like trashy pulp in the sense that I don't mean like it's badly written or anything. It's a fun excuse to have all the gore and the horrendous stuff and the
Boobs.
Nazis
Yep.
and the boobs, and it's an excuse to do all the fun stuff that you're looking forward to in pulp anyway.
Yeah.
So, but we're actually going to review it at the Alcon show. We will take 5-10 minutes and we will review
We'll
his.
do it. But so far,
At all
I'm,
con.
I'm
will,
digging it.
will he be at Alcon?
He may or may not be.
He may
I
or
don't
may not
really
be,
know
but
yet.
you know what? We have a few of the comics. I'll talk to them. Maybe we can even have a few out there for people to sample.
Yeah, but
while they're
werewolf
there.
Nazis from outer space. You can pick it up at Zeus and Keith's, and I think there's a couple other places, maybe Titans.
Titan, I think, has it
in the
as
Dallas
well.
area, but Trauma Comics is putting out some cool shit. I mean, like Kung Fu Satanists, Werewolf Nazis from Outer Space.
Love
Check
Kung
them
Fu
out.
Satanists.
Yes.
I really want them to expand that
That
series.
one, yeah, I really like that one too.
So, well, there's your 30-second
30-second
review.
review, but we promise
We'll
you,
do a
Simon,
better
you
one.
will
But we
get
are
a
liking
full,
it.
you will get a full one at Alcon, where more people will be around to appreciate than this
I'm really
Dumpster
sorry
dick.
my boobs took over your comic review.
I like that you can make your
Sorry,
shirt
I'm not.
cross-eyed.
I know.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Oh God, I love my
I guess
life.
we will.
Well, no, that's
See you
it.
guys
That's
next
the
week.
show. We'll see you
No,
next week.
we will
We're
see
gonna.
those guys next week.
Yeah,
So-
we'll see you guys next week. Oh,
Two nights in a row.
And if you want to see these for real, yes, that's right. Come to the Naked Girls Reading. Of course, you can get info at nakedgirlsreading.com/Dallas. Make sure you also check out DallasBrewScene.com to check out those guys. You've been watching the DELoL show. You can get more information at DELoLshow.com, where we have all the archived episodes and clips. Check us out on Facebook, and we'll see you next week from AllCon Live.